We're here to talk about this report that we both just read.
Yeah.
And I suppose what's staggering to me is the scale that it reveals. I mean, we as public reps would know that there have been a lot of issues with regard to water outages and issues with Uisce Éireann. But I suppose what it reveals in data is the staggering scale of the problem. I mean, to think that once every 2 days there's actually an outage somewhere in Kildare.
Yeah. I mean, it's an absolutely excellent report and very timely. I mean, I'd very much like to commend the authors of the report. And as you say, what it illustrates is the fact that water supply issues are a big problem here in Kildare North. Something that when I was in my local election campaign was a constant on many of the doors I knocked on. And also, you know, in terms of the council work we've both done, we know that we've raised issues in relation to water supply outages and getting a clearer process for Uisce Éireann to communicate with councillors, you know, at council level as well.
Absolutely, and the increase in the number of unplanned outages. I mean, whatever the planned outage, but there's been an increase in the unplanned outages up to 8 hours. I mean, that's a huge amount of, you know, loss for businesses, for creches, for households, vulnerable users and so on.
Yeah.
So I suppose we've been putting it on the agenda as public reps at every opportunity. And I suppose trying to be positive and look for solutions. It's good that Uisce Éireann have accepted our invitation to come into the chamber and will be meeting us in September. And we will certainly be pushing for answers for this part of the county, because if the problem last year was the worst on record, it's only going to get progressively worse. I mean, Celbridge holds the record for the...
Yes, indeed. I mean, you know, I've been emailed by so many people about water supply issues. In fact, my own home is in Callender's Mill, which has been affected, as of estates in the Grove and estates beyond that. I mean, it's a problem all over Celbridge. I mean, what this report also says, I worked out, is that between Celbridge and Leixlip, 5,000 tickets were raised with Uisce Éireann between 2018 and 2013. And that just goes to show the extent of these problems. I think one of the other issues is, of course, transparency. There's a disconnect between, you know, the public receiving information about how long these outages are going to last. You know, and to be honest with you, it's such a serious issue for people right across the community. It affects everybody. People with kids, you know, elderly people, you know, in every household needs water. And not only do they need water, they need information about when the water supply is going to come back on if it is taken out.
Absolutely. You need confidence in that. I mean, to think that, for example, I sent them an email, a query on the 15th of July.
Yeah.
And I just got a pro forma reply saying we're dealing with your query, with quite serious questions asking about these outages, what about the infrastructure, supplementary, you know, water supply. And I've got no reply, no actual proper reply to that. So I think the communication piece is key, and the confidence in water supply, because a lot of families feel now that the water quality is not something that they've confidence in. So I suppose, finally, I'd like to say that the government has promised a referendum on the ownership of public water services. It's long overdue, and we need to have that and have it soon.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more.
Yeah.